9709 Nick says, in your Zelda journey, when did you use a guide or help of any kind to go through a game?
Oh man.
When did I not?
I mean, yeah, let's be real. I mean, back in the day, it was cool to have the guide, and it was like cool to use it and like point out secrets to people, right? And I mean, I think that's kind of the founding of Zelda Dungeon, right? Like that's the whole point of what it was.
That's why we're all here.
Out. That's why we're all here.
So crazy. That's so crazy.
For me, it was Wind Waker. My buddy Taylor and I, who I kind of like look up to him as an older brother because I don't have a brother. He's a couple years older than me, lived across the street. He was like one of my best friends growing up. Every day after school, we'd get home, throw our backpacks down, and I'd run across the street and I'd pick up the orange GameCube controller. That was the coolest thing ever. And we'd start playing Wind Waker. They were upstairs. They had these two big, like cool spinny chairs that were just massive for kids, right? And we'd like sink into them. One of us would have the controller, the other one would have the guidebook. And we'd be going through, you know, like a dungeon. It's like, no, go over there. You gotta get a piece of heart. You know, it's hidden over there. There's gonna be a mini boss coming up, and you know, we would like guide each other through the dungeons and through all like going island to island. Like my memories around Wind Waker are so focused on that guidebook. And I don't know, like that guidebook is so cool. And I remember all the artwork in it and all the little like fun facts and the blurbs on the side of it. And that I love that guidebook. I know, it's so sad that it's not like
no, for
a
sure
big
it really
thing
is.
anymore.
Yeah, Corey, any guide memories?
So I don't really have like, I don't know, I don't have the full memory to back this up, but by doing like just like logic in my brain of like when I played Zelda games, when they came out, when I had them, and like ones I know I've beaten, I think the first Zelda game I had to have completed was A Link to the Past, the Game Boy Advance port. And I had the accompanying guide, specifically the Game Boy Advance A Link to the Past guide. And that guide was so cool because they took the A Link to the Past artwork but updated it in a new style of art. And that art style is so good. It's similar to like Oracle of Seasons style kind of, but like Link's proportions are a little bit less cartoonish. It's a little bit more like all of the illustrations and stuff they recreate the famous ones from the original Link to the Past book of like Link and Zelda down in the sewers, and and I was just like in love with that guidebook just for the design of it. But that was also, like you were saying, Nico, it's like that when they did guides back in the day, it wasn't just like go around here and get this. No. It's like the guide gives you little tricky little hints like, oh, maybe you should check out this little area.
There was so much personality in them.
Yeah, maybe you'll find a little something here. And like the design of the book was just so good, and that has to be the first Zelda game that I completed with that guide, like in tandem with that guide, actually using it to get the tips and tricks and progress and stuff. And that I don't know, I have a very fond spot for that book in my mind. Actually, I think, do you mind, like, you can keep going if you want. I'm gonna see if I have it. I think it might be like over on my bookshelf. I want to double check real quick.
Go for it.
Yeah, I was just looking behind me to see if I had any of my old Zelda ones. I think I have them in a box under my bed. I have like Twilight Princess up through Tears of the Kingdom, but I don't have anything older than that here.
I've got my grandpa, he had Ocarina of Time, and I just got the one Ocarina of Time in Appleton. His is kind of like torn and got like notes in it and stuff. It's just kind of fun, but
that's cool. Yeah,
are we pausing right now?
No, we'll keep it going. I mean,
we're keeping it going.
I got the Pokemon Sword and Shield guidebooks recently.
There you go.
Which are really cool. And there's 2 of them.
Corey, you got it?
I got it, baby.
Oh.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past plus 4 swords.
Oh,
Show some of
yeah.
that art.
Hold on, what's happening?
Oh,
Can you see this
Ugh.
right now? Because like my
yeah. Ugh.
emulator.
Your poor Discord.
get-
We can see it.
we gotta go back.
Poor Corey's Discord is being.
I
rough
want
on
to see
him.
it because like my computer's doing something weird right now, so I can't see. But let me.
No, you're normal. It's
Hold on.
normal. It's good.
Okay, I'm good.
That is really
Alright.
good artwork.
Yeah.
You're right. It is
Love it,
similar
I love it.
to the Oracle.
Let me like look. Take
Oh,
they take the
that's
class.
hot.
That's an illustration
Oh,
to the past, but they didn't make it sick. There's one of my favorite ones that I actually have. And here
Corey,
it's
your
just,
audio
like,
is so funny right now. Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
got all the screenshots from the game and stuff. Let me surf through this and
Ugh, I love these old
see if I can
guidebooks so
find some
much.
sick. Oh. Yeah, they got the classic little actions. They got him like, oh, you can bash into stuff.
Oh yeah.
So good. So
I
good.
love that
There's-
Link
there's-
design.
I know it's
Yeah.
so good.
We gotta bring it back.
Ugh,
No, unironically, it's actually my favorite like
so
art
good.
style from anything
with it.
Zelda, and this is the only time they've done it.
and the sad thing is, like, we don't have a game where that's what he actually looks like in the game. You know, like, give
I
us a game
know.
where that's what he looks like in the game.
Well, this is all like it's kind of similar to like what he looks like in the intro and the outro of Link's Awakening 2019 almost.
Mm.
Yeah,
Kind of
it
like
is.
that anime style.
Give us
Alright,
an
I don't
anime
wanna-
Zelda game. Ghibli.
I'm gonna keep
The-
rifling through to find a specific piece of art that I have as my phone background, but you guys keep
Well,
talking.
McKenna, guide any good guide memories? Now we're talking about guide memories.
I'm just thinking of using like Zelda Dungeon walkthroughs.
Zelda Dungeon.
Shout out to Zelda Dungeon.
Especially for the earlier games.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
4.
Yeah.
5, 6, no. A lot for Majora's Mask, I think. That's
Mm-hmm.
one I definitely use it a lot for. I don't know, yeah, just using them in general for games.
Yeah. I
Now I write stuff for the wiki.
now you're doing it.
Yeah.
You have
Do you
become
know-
the guider.
Do you know what's
That's so
really
cool.
funny is that I was brought onto ZD specifically to work on the Wind Waker walkthrough.
How's that coming?
LOL.
We're working on it. It was what, 4
It's
years
coming.
ago.
My first experience with like a Zelda guide was for my birthday or some Christmas or something. My grandpa got me Majora's Mask along with the guide, and so that was kind of
Oh,
always a
cool.
thing. Yeah, so that really helped my love of that game comparatively to even Ocarina of Time, because like I really, as a kid, as like a 10 11-year-old or whatever, like I feel like I really understood the game, not just because like I had the guide to guide me through it, but like, you know, just reading, you would read about all facets of it. Yeah, pulling the chain.
I love
Look at
that.
that silly guy pulling the chain.
Then I actually really didn't use a lot of guides like for certain games. Like I don't recall Twilight Princess maybe using a guide. I don't really remember Wind Waker as well.
Mhm.
Probably I was kind of young, but anyway, I really happened after I joined ZD, and I was like, well, I should probably actually like finish certain older games that, you know, gave me trouble. So like using the guides for you know, the NES games mostly were the ones I hadn't beat. Like that really helped me get over them. And then it's really just been like, you know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, maybe looking up random, like, oh, where is this or whatever. But those are different. Like the
I mean, I'd consider the
Yeah,
interactive map
That's not the same.
a guidebook.
yeah, there's that sort of thing. It's like a whole different ball. I mean, you've even seen like Zelda Dungeon is like, you know, has now the wiki and the map, because it's kind of like it's a different thing than writing a guide of old
Yeah.
like Corey's looking at, you know.
What's this might sound silly, but one of my favorite memories of Zelda Dungeon walkthroughs is specifically from the Skyward Sword playthrough by Game Grumps when they make fun of Mossies because of the description that he wrote of the Magmas.
Oh yeah.
It's some phrase like, go past this magma and you'll meet another magma named Zank. And they're like, I don't know a single thing he just said. It's like, yeah, that's fair.
I remember them saying something in like Majora's Mask as well.
Oh, yeah.
They were like trying to look something up. I remember they're like, "Damn it, Zelda Dungeon, you're too detailed.
You're too detailed."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny when they give a little shout out to ZD. I always think it's silly.
Yeah. I that's funny. ZD like being such a powerhouse in guides like causes me to like actually there's been a couple times where people, even my cousin, when we were in Texas and stuff, my cousin were like, do you still do that Zelda stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, cool. Like he was like, yeah, I was just playing through some of the older games with my daughter, and we went to look up guides, and all of a sudden, our videos autoplay on the site. And he's like, all of a sudden I'm looking at it. I've had like coworkers. I probably have coworkers and stuff who like, because Zelda, especially Breath of the Wild and stuff, was so big. Like they've probably done it and probably like seen me and not said anything because it's very weird.
I actually about 3 or 4 months ago, I had an old friend from Boise text me and be like, "Hey, I was trying to find a Korok and your face was on my screen."
Yeah, because I think it just pulls from like our recent videos.
Yeah.
I
can't find the
another guide.
It's the...
Sorry, Corey, what was that?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying I can't find the piece of art I was looking for. It's a specific one of Link just taking a rest underneath a tree, just like taking a nap underneath a tree with his with his sword and shield next to him. But
put it on the screen, Miranda. I'll just start saying and see if it happens.
Find it, Miranda. See if it happens. But anytime I explain to people like what I do for Zelda Dungeon, what Zelda Dungeon is, I'm effectively like, if you've ever looked up a guide for a Legend of Zelda game, you've probably been on Zelda Dungeon.
Yeah.
That's basically the way.
Pretty good chance
that I qualify it.
I remember when those Boss Keys series were coming out on the Zelda Dungeons or whatever. I did like a text interview for ZD with the creator of those videos or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like he said, I basically use ZD to get to the dungeons, like get past all the middle stuff, because he really was focusing on the dungeons. I was like, "That's awesome, man."
That is sick. Yeah, the one big memory that I was considering saying for the memories thing, but the first time I played Ocarina of Time, I was hugging the Zelda Dungeon walkthrough the entire way, like the whole way through.
Yeah,
because I was just like, and that was the game where it was just truly like, okay, I'm a Zelda fanatic now for the rest of my life.
And that can be a fun experience. And I think people, that's one thing of like, I see this a lot. We get this a lot when I see people come on to ZD and they're like, well, okay, I want to play, I'm trying to play Zelda 2 or Legend of Zelda, but I'm trying not to use the guide. And I'm like, it's okay actually to use a guide. Like
totally fine.
Back then in like Nintendo Power, they would have almost a full guide of these games. Like they get you through like a good chunk of it. And then a lot of it, like obviously like the internet wasn't as much of a thing then, but like a lot of the stuff was built on like sharing with your friends and things like that. So like I think, I mean, you can play the game however you like, but I feel like it's not actually really like intended to just be like this isolated experience without spoilers or whatever. That's kind of, I don't know. I always kind of like the I like sort of the mystery of the game a little bit.
That's how games, like video games, were, especially by Nintendo and Nintendo adjacent companies. in the late 80s, early 90s, that was their focus. Even through the end of the 90s, that was their main focus, was to get people to talk to each other about the video games that they're playing, by like having secrets. That was like the whole point of having multiple versions of Pokemon.
Classic schoolyard video game secret.
Exactly.
Did you
Yeah.
hear that you could do this if you push back and then press A and B two times?
Did you hear that Mew is hidden underneath the truck? And it's like
Yeah,
that was
everyone knows Mew's under the truck.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point was to like get people to talk, and it made more people play. It's just like how the games were designed, and on top of that, also a lot of the older Zelda games, not just Zelda but other older games in general, you were like required to read the guide to even know what was going on. Like, right, you wanted to know the story. Well, you better you better read the little book that comes with it, because if you don't, then you're screwed. And that alone will give you secrets that you wouldn't know if you're like, oh, I'm doing it without any help. It's like, no, you kind of should probably get some.
They're like full guides, like the one that I have right here, are incredible, especially when they put the time to like detail everything out, but like be fun about it. And that, I think, one of the coolest ways to do guides is the way that they Zelda games, like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, where it's very much we'll lay out the first few dungeons for you and how to like map out the map yourself. But other than that, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing kind of like a return to some appreciation of that sort of thing, or like even incorporating it into the game. Like we bring up Tunic all the time with that.
I know. I mean, one of my like core memories is driving home from GameStop after buying Super Mario Sunshine and reading through the booklet on all the different moves that you can do with Flood.
Oh yeah.
And being like, oh, I'm going to do all of these. I'm going to be so good. And Mario Sunshine to this day is one of my all-time favorite Mario games, because like I remember going through that little booklet before I even played the game.
Miss the booklets, yeah.
I miss that.
They're so good.
I know it's not a guide.
That was
but,
very sad.
It's guide adjacent.
Yeah.
That's actually, I still buy. I don't know, when I get games for the Switch, I almost, especially if it's a big game I'm looking forward to, I'll buy a physical copy because I love physical copies.
Mm-hmm.
And every time without fail, I open the case and I expect to have a little booklet on the side, and I'm like, this box feels empty.
Yeah.
And then I just take my game out,
then why do they
throw
even
the
have the
box
clips
somewhere
for the
and play the
booklet?
game.
The clips are there.
They've taken so much from us.
Jeez.
Some games do. Some games do come with booklets still. They're almost always indie games because they know what we want.
Because they
put the love into it.
Yeah, like
it's
Hades.
worth it.
Hades came with a booklet.
Ooh.
Heck yeah.
One guide I always use every time at the marathon when I got to play Twilight Princess, because I've done it once and I don't care to figure it out again, is that statue puzzle you do before getting the Master Sword. It's like without fail. That part comes up and I got it ready to go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty
like,
sure prior to Breath of the Wild, that was one of our like top viewed guides of all time. Was that statue puzzle?
The water temple.
Yeah.
The water temple, yeah. It's a brain teaser. Guides.
Or Anju and Cafe's quest.
Guides.
Oof.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up.
Because I love that quest, but I don't remember the times. I'm just going to look it up.
This guide also has 4 swords, by the way, like the entirety of 4 swords, but like whatever.
Yeah. It's fine.
4 swords is just 4 swords.
Who cares?
Is that a video game?
Well, cool. I think that should be the ending. Is that a video game?
Is that a video game?
Ranking 4 swords.
Okay,
D-tier.
well, yeah.
Next.
We got like...
That's on the back.
Cute.
Oh,
here's
look at that guy.
I just love Toon Link.
Well, Toon Link 4 swords art.
I love every time you hold up the magazine is when your stuff starts to break.
Yeah, your video and your audio always start stuttering whenever you hold it up. I don't think it's actually related.
Oh.
But
all right,
yeah. Every time.
Actually, that should go in the video. That should for sure.
Editor's notes for anybody?
No,
Miranda?
it was great.
Miranda, you better put that picture in, or
Miranda
else.
put it in.
Do with this file what you like.
Now.
It,
Put me in a little tingle costume. Okay, thanks.
just start
I gotta
making
look at that.
outrageous requests.